Right. I'm the last one before dinner, so I'll try to keep it short. Or for the people who want to go home, my name is Maurijn. I'm with Cisco. I've been with Cisco for 24 years, and for the last 10 editions, I've been part of the team that designs the Wi-Fi keynote room for Cisco Live. Cisco Live is our end user event, and the last couple of editions were in the Maurijn. So let's have a quick look. Because this is a temporary install for a high client density environment, you can't just put stuff on the ceiling or use a few poles. So in general, what we use is the sound of light trusses. So we have to collaborate with the people that do. And for that, we have used this year the 9104 stadium antenna and the 3560CX switch that we also put in the rig. So then we have a minimum of cables running off of the rig onto the floor. For that, we use the standard antenna, added or augmented with some homebrew brackets and standard truss clamps that will fit the 15mm sound black truss. Before that time, we used to use the two previous stadium antennas that we have, and that would take a lot of time to actually connect all the antenna cables, 8 of them per AP. So if you're doing 50 APs, that was quite a lot of work. Whereas later, that got replaced with just the one AP. So this is what that looks like. So basically it's a 9130 antenna built into one enclosure that is specifically made for this. The nice thing about this is that it has movable beams in software. So which means that you can make it either dual narrow, or you can sort of move them apart by 10 or 20 degrees, or make both of your 5 gig channels wide. The 2.4 I leave out of it because it's not used in large installations as this one. So this is what it would look like if you have a look in Akahau or something. You see there's the wide, narrow, dual narrow, and depending on the angle between those two, you can see the difference in the pattern. So this is what we get from the Sound Alike guys in November. Right, so this is hole 12, and what you see is the truss layout. All of these are the trusses that the Sound Alike people are going to use, including the cable drop-offs. They tell us where that is, and we try to follow that. So then what we need to do is figure out how many people we're going to get. In this case, it was a little over 6,000. So then it's time to get the RF planning. My colleague Michael Kowalik did that for me. He's really good with Akahau. I tell him how many radios, how many things I want, and he does the Akahau magic and makes this into something that's going to be really nice. So if we look at the number of APs that we wanted, you can see that some of them have no truss attached to them, because we need to get the APs as close to the user as we can. And in this case, we have to go back to the Sound Alike guys to get additional truss. Then the result what we get is something that looks like this. So you see the additional trusses, and now what we make is this drawing with a lot of additional information in it so that we can give that to the teams that do the actual deployment. So the position measured from the end of the truss, when the trusses are down, floating at about 1.5 meters, is where you hang your stuff, but you have to make sure where that is. So on a map, there is the distances from the end. We have the cables prepared up front and numbered, so we know which cable goes where. That means that it saves a lot of time. And the various switches are indicated on the drawing as well. So the result is that from a stack of 60 of those APs to the actual deployment with 12 switches and 72 patches, it took this team about 5 hours. So if you compare that to a deployment that you would do in a building or for something that is not a temp install, that is really, really fast. As a last thought, because I'm in between you and dinner. The very important thing here, if you do a deployment like this in one room, because you use all the different 5 gig radios, is to make sure that you balance the TX power on those. And that is to make sure that you have a similar distribution of clients. I forgot to show you one thing, so I'm going to go back a couple of slides. Because here, from the colors, you can actually see the difference in battery that we have used in the antennas. So the one that you see here is really narrow, the green part. So this one is dual narrow on top of each other. This one is 10 degrees apart. This one is a little larger, 20 degrees apart. And this one is dual wide. So there you can see what how the actual predictive looks like. And that is all I have for you today. Any questions?
Okay, that was then the end of the event for today. Thank you all for coming. Everybody who I see tomorrow. We start tomorrow at 8:30. I sent in the email 9, but Peter prefer 8:30. So do not become mad at me, become mad at Peter. Yes, it will be, should be on the CS screen in the beginning, but they told me beginning of the week that they're going to take care of Chicago 1, either Chicago 2. So it will be in this area. For those people who I do not see, I hope to see you all next year. As already said, 19 May is ID, 19, 21, 21, 22, 23. I already heard from some guy from Belgium that there might be a break in Belgium as well, so they're going to verify that. If not, we're probably going to move to June. Most summer vacations start in July anyway. Cisco Live is in June in America.
And in the US usually it is, yes.
The beginning of June, right? Something like that.
I don't know.
So anyway, I'm planning still for the 19th of May. However, if I hear there are a lot of vacations as well in Belgium, then we probably go move to June. So for those who I did not see tomorrow, hopefully next year. And for those who see it tomorrow, see you tomorrow.